That's all. That's all. And if there's one thing that Jesus has been brilliant at and passes on to those who believe in him, that's the ability to spot a trap. And I don't care who you are, how holy you are, and how much you try to climb into your own tower and block out all the bad things of life, you better be able to recognize a trap. I don't care how much confidence you have in people and how much we love one another, you better be able to spot a trap. Jesus was always alert when it comes to a trap. He always read their hearts and their minds. It's nothing but a trap. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just a trap. Just trying to get Jesus to do that big thing as we mentioned last week, and we mentioned in so many sermons, to break the law. Because in breaking the law, it makes him a liar to the people when he says, I've come not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. And this is what they were trying to do. This is what they were trying to do. Well, they make another approach here, and they make another approach here, and Jesus spots the trap. And their approach now, Master, we caught her. We have not come now to accuse you, as we did on other occasions when he healed the man with the withered hand, or his disciples had eaten on the Sabbath day, or blasphemy of any kind. We've not come to bring any accusations against you, Jesus. We've come with a case because here is a woman that has been caught breaking the law. And since she has broken the law, Moses has already commanded that such should be stoned. But we come before you, and they hold Moses up to it because Moses was held highly as a hero to the people. And rightly so. Moses was God's liberator, God's legislator. He was the one that received the commandments from God. And as far as people were concerned, there was nobody outside of Abraham who lived any closer to God than Moses. It was Moses who stepped down into the land of Egypt and had the nerve to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. It was Moses who led the children out of Egypt, out of bondage, and across the Red Sea. It was Moses they held in high esteem. It was Moses that God lifted up on the mountain when the commandments were uttered. It was Moses held high in the esteem of the people. And they said, Moses have commanded that such be stoned. Now they didn't have to use Moses' name. They could have simply said, the law prescribed that she be stoned. But you can see how they're throwing fuel on the fire. Moses has commanded she be stoned. In other words, if we don't stone her, we'll be breaking the law of Moses. And if you don't agree with the law, how can these people believe that you are sent from God and yet you will not uphold the law of Moses? Because Moses was believed to be one who walked closely with God. Well, you and I would be in a jam right now, wouldn't we? You and I would be in a fix right now, wouldn't we? I mean, how could we fight our way out of something like this? How could we do this? Because here's what we got here. We got accusers with guilty on their lips. We have Moses who's held in high esteem that we could violate a principle or law of Moses. But then we've got a woman who's in trouble. Then we've got a woman who needs the presence and power of Jesus. We have one who has broken the law. We have one who has sinned. And there is nowhere in the scripture here where Jesus does not say that what she did was not a sin. There's nowhere that he doesn't say that. Who knows the law of sin any better than Jesus? Who would know what wrongdoing? He does not condone it. He cannot do that at all. The only thing he can do is work now with the case. But one thing is sure. However insincere these men might have been, there was one thing that they did do. They brought it to Jesus. They brought it to Jesus. God moves in a mysterious way, doesn't he? They may have come to trap him. They may have come with evil intentions and motives in their mind, but they brought it to Jesus. Well, whether they know it or not, they worked and played into the hands of divine justice now. It's like God manipulating people, for here is a soul that is wrong and needs to be brought to the Lord. The disciples do not bring her. The patriarchs, prophets, nobody bring her. The enemy bring brings her to Jesus. God moves in a mysterious way, doesn't he? How else? This woman, there was nothing that said this woman would come of her own. There was nothing here to say that the disciples went out looking for her. No evangelistic program, no mission outreach went out for her. The accusers brought her to Jesus. And no matter how insincere, see, God still moves in a mysterious way. God still upsets the order of things and does anything he feels like doing. God still takes folks' evil intentions and brings good out of them. God has a way of taking sometimes our anger and bringing sweetness out of it. God has a way of taking the wrong things which are done in society and bringing glory out of them. God can take a slave that's whipped and bring freedom out of the case. God is able to do so. God's able to do so. This is a topsy-turvy world, but only God is right side up. Only God knows where he's going and what he's all about. And so they brought him to Jesus. And when you bring something to Jesus, it belongs to him then. But there's one thing, I don't care who it is, whether it's the devil in hell, if you bring it to Jesus, he'll know what to do with it. Matters not who you are, matters not whether the board of directors come or angels fly down from heaven to come. It doesn't make a difference to it. Just bring it to Jesus. He'll know what to do about it. When I lay down at night, the only thing I know is that he knows what to do about everything. I never have to worry about some guy who got to wonder what I'm going to do next. I sometimes got to wonder what my colleagues and my peers are going to do next. And sometimes I've got to wonder what my friends are going to do with family. But I never have to wonder about him. I know that Jesus always knows what he's doing. There is no burden too heavy that I can't take to him, and no trouble so complex that I can't take to him, no trial so hard pressing upon me that I can't take it to Jesus. Because I know once I get it to him, everything will be all right. I don't care whether you live to him, whether you have to be dragged to him, whether you have to be pressured to get there, just get to Jesus. I hear a lot of people say, I don't go to church now because my mama made me come to church. But thank God for those mamas who made some of us. Isn't that right? Thank God for them dragged us. When they said, my mother used to grab me and put me up on the front seat. And psychology would say, oh, that was a terrible thing, wasn't it? It might have been terrible, but there are worse things a mother could do. Isn't that right? I know some parents bringing their children, putting them on the front, putting them up on a bar stool. So there are worse things that can happen to you. And I hear those people say, well, I had to be made to go to church. It matters not how you get there, just as long as you get there. It matters not whether they drag this woman and throw her down on the ground, whether they scandalize her name. It doesn't make any difference. It's going to be all right now because Jesus has the case. I don't care how you came through. It doesn't make any difference how you came through. Jesus is able. Jesus is able. I don't like to hear people mess up what God does in the world. I don't like to hear folk reflect on things, and I'm not hitting at anybody, but it makes me a little disturbed when I hear preachers say, I won't pray for an illegitimate baby. I don't even know what an illegitimate baby is. All of us come in the same way. I don't know what that is. Anybody that comes before this altar, I don't care who the daddy is or the mama, let's pray for the baby. Doesn't make any difference. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. Who are we? We're not judges. This is not our house. This is God's house. See, if folks talk about, I'm not going to funeralize somebody unless they're a member of the church. They can't come in the church unless they've been to church. I don't care if they've never set foot in this church. Bring them in here anyway. It doesn't make any difference. What difference does it make? You don't have any heaven and hell to send anybody to. The church does not belong to us. It's God's church. And it matters not how much money we put in it, it belongs to God. Who are we to set up principles and rules and regulations when it comes to God's house? When I heard Jesus say, come unto me all that are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Bring the drunkard, bring the crack addict, bring the backslider. It makes no difference. Bring that child. I don't care if you don't know who the daddy is. Bring that child to the altar there. And let's pray God blessing upon that child. God is able. You don't know what that child's going to go on to become. God is able. God is able. God is able. So it matters not how she got to Jesus. I just thank God she got there. They brought her to Jesus. And so the case is now in the hands of Jesus. Jesus, how you going to decide it now? What you going to do now? You got accusers standing all around you. You got a woman flung down before you. You got a sin standing in front of you. And Matthew 1:21 said that she shall name him Jesus, for he shall save the people from their sins. You come, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. You came to rescue the perishing and to care for the dying. You came to lift up those from sinking sand. You came to mend the broken hearts and to bring back the backslider. You came to do it all. What you going to do now? You got the law on one side. You got your accuser standing around you. And you got a woman who needs you right there in the middle. What you going to do?